Here's something that should bother you. 2 shoppers visit your site. One looks at a $30 product, the other one looks at a $200 product. They both abandon, and most brands will send them the exact same email, which is insane. Instant fixes this. It watches what each shopper does on your site and builds the perfect follow-up around their behavior. The right product, the right message, the right offer, and the right timing. And for the operators who care about incrementality, this is the part that matters. Instant now lets you measure performance on the same attribution window you're already using inside Klaviyo. So if your team lives by a one-day click, you can see exactly what Instant is adding up on a one-day click view. And believe me, when you see how much revenue your standard email setup is still leaving untouched, you're gonna want Instant live today. Over 1,500 brands are live, including Third Love, Liquid IV, and Kind Patches. And this month only, you can get 50% off your first 60 days at instant.one/Sharma. All right, Liam, welcome back to the episode, or welcome back to the podcast. Is this the third or fourth time?
This is our third time, right?
Third time together.
Excited. Thanks for having me on a third time going.
Excited to have you back.
I feel like everything changes so much every time we catch up. Everyone
changes?
Raves about the episodes. We've gone through product changes and we've shipped so many new features, but then just the industry as a whole, I mean, things used to happen in like 3-year increments. Now it's like every 3 months things are changing.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like when we first recorded, I think like ChatGPT was the main interface, right?
Yeah.
And then the last time we recorded, honestly, I think it might have still been like ChatGPT, maybe a little bit of Claude in there. But now I'm fully on the OpenClaw Hermes agent side of things. I don't use any native interfaces. Where have you gone in the world of AI?
Yeah, I think we're all in on Claude, particularly internally, and just in the day-to-day. I mean, I think the everyday consumer is still using ChatGPT.
100%.
But for business operations and actually doing meaningful things with AI, I mean, there's so many AI tools now that are just exceptional. And then for day-to-day work, I mean, Claude is just amazing. And it's crazy to think 6 months ago, nobody was even... It's like, Anthropic, yeah, like they're cool, up and coming.
Yeah.
I think they've even surpassed ChatGPT now in revenue, which is crazy, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like my entire life has now become fully optimized thanks to AI in weird ways. Like I just got this switch that I'm going to plug in tonight into my router at home, which will basically search for my 8 sleep and internet-enabled light switches. And that'll then connect to my OpenClaw / Hermes agent, which I'll then be able to, it'll just tell me, hey, your bed's on, or, you slept like this, you didn't sleep like that.
Yeah. It's amazing. Even with OpenClaw, I was traveling between 2 cities the other day, and it's like connected to my WhatsApp.
Yeah.
And a simple mistake that is normally so annoying on the day, I'd booked my flights the wrong way around. I booked it from the city I was meant to be departing. I booked it as the arrival the wrong way around, and I got a WhatsApp message being like, your flight's coming up in 2 days' time. Like this is the flight information. It's on time. Blah blah blah. Here's the link to do your meal pre-order. But I've noticed that all of your other events in the day are in Sydney, and this flight is leaving from Melbourne. So it looks like you've booked it from the wrong city. Should you change this?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, whoa, that's actually really cool.
Amazing,
so it's not only solving problems that I ask it to solve, it's now proactively solving problems. I think that's the exciting state that we're in now.
I agree. I feel like where we went from the ChatGPT, ChatGPT is basically the question and answer interface. And then we went to a point where it was like, okay, let me send a prompt and you can go and run and do things. And now we're at the point where it will now, as long as it has context, like I'm sure your OpenClaw is connected to your email, your calendar, like I have mine connected to GoDaddy, and like I said, my 8 sleep now. And so it has the most context possible. But now it can then proactively say, oh, by the way, this person in Slack tagged you. You owe them this from 2 days ago. Here's a draft. You want me to send this over?
Yeah.
And it's amazing how it's also amazing how fast that's happening. Like that has all happened in the last couple of months, really.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, it's exciting.
Do you use your OpenClaw setup a lot between personal, professional? Crossing over? Or
yeah, I mean, I feel like
separate.
I mean, kind of, we would be in the similar state where our business life overlaps with our personal life.
Totally.
A lot. And I feel like that's pretty common for most people, right?
Definitely.
yeah,
I mean, at the point where you're building an OpenClaw,
exactly.
you're probably in that boat.
I think that our engineering teams use Claude to, significantly increase their output. We've gone from 3-week cycles to like 1-week cycles.
Wow.
Our demos on Friday, our internal demo is gone from like 1 hour on a Friday to like 3 hours now, just showing all the things we've shipped.
Wow.
I think that there's so much happening in like just business operations. I mean, even the job of like a finance manager has changed so much. Like I no longer need someone to tell me when is someone's probation period up, when, how much money can we save by doing this, this, and this? How much money is it going to add by doing this, this, and this? What was our performance this month versus last year at the same time or 3 years ago?
Right.
I mean, now I'm just chatting with a interface that can either one, do it proactively if I set it up to, or two, it's giving me an immediate answer. Questions that used to take, let us get back to you by Thursday, close of business. I've now got immediate. I'm going into a board meeting, being able to make a decision rather than needing to put together a full deck.
Exactly.
I'm being able to go into a meeting prepared rather than asking questions.
Right.
And I think that's the exciting part of a business. It's gone from asking so many questions to this is what we're doing.
Totally.
I still think there's such a need for human creativity and humans actioning a lot of the insights that AI is finding, but there's so much less wasted time. And I think that's especially the case in the world that we play of e-com. I mean, it's never been more possible, in my opinion, for a brand to grow extremely fast.
Totally.
And we're seeing a world now where really small brands are overtaking massive players because they don't have the baggage of legacy business, legacy tools, legacy operations. They're
even
just
like legacy decision-making chains,
Right.
Oh, we have to get this approved. All right, let me run it up the flagpole.
Exactly.
That now happens instantly.
Whereas now it's like, does this meet our brand guidelines?
Exactly.
Yes or no?
Exactly.
Huge.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's
even someone in customer support, a ticket comes in, this link isn't working, this button isn't working, this I tried to check out, it didn't work. One, you can just ask Claude to break down what the problem actually was.
Yeah.
So this is now a support agent that is no longer a support agent. They're actually now building a new landing page and shipping code to your website that significantly stops these problems from occurring. And so rather than needing 5 people to be involved, you're either now, everyone's job now is product or revenue.
Right.
Everything else is a waste of time.
Agreed. Yeah. And I think to your point earlier, like the more that I spend time basically inside Telegram, the more I do realize like the human touch.
Oh, you're like a Telegram versus a WhatsApp?
Yeah. And for no reason, honestly.
Right.
I just haven't gotten around to setting WhatsApp. I tried to set up iMessage the other day and it didn't work, but I have 16 different agents now in Telegram. So I feel like porting it all over is going to be a process.
What agency
WhatsApp, if I open WhatsApp, everybody else is going to see I haven't responded to that I was just online.
True. I turn that off.
That's the downside.
What agency are you using?
So every project I have going on, so like I was just telling you about Zerp, I have, maybe a consulting project. Every project has its own, I call it like a GM bot, like a general manager.
Mm-hmm.
And what I do is I basically say to my main bot, I'm like, hey, we're going to start working with this company or we're going to do this. And you need to make sure that everything you see, if it talks about this, route that information to this bot so it can constantly stay smarter. So if I'm on a call with my assistant in the morning and we talk about Zerp, make sure that context of that paragraph goes to the Zerp bot. When I get an email about something, make sure that goes there if it's mentioning Zerp. And basically, well, one, it just keeps the main chat kind of clear for more urgent stuff, but it allows the individual bot to kind of build its own brain and personality and just kind of its own like cron jobs, even occurring tasks within that specific chat interface.
Yeah, love it.
So, so as I was saying, like the more I play with it, the more I do realize that like design is a huge piece that doesn't exist. And human review is obviously a huge piece that's still, although I don't know for how much longer the human review thing is going to be needed. I'm guessing like 6 months or less before you and I will probably be in a spot where we feel comfortable without human review. That's my guess. Yeah.
I even think today, human review is almost not needed.
Yeah, it's
optional. Actually the human holding it back.
Totally.
And I think in many ways that's kind of fair. It's so new. It's happened so fast. There's so many marketing managers and even like CEOs and creative directors that are like, oh, hang on a minute. Like we need to check this, which is totally valid. And I think that That was kind of the same even when, tools like Afterpay were launched. It was like, hang on a minute,
100%.
are we giving credit? Like,
Yeah, like, wait,
is this
what are we doing
unethical?
here? This is too fast.
Yeah, is this too fast?
Yeah.
And, as the industry learns and as people learn, it just changes so quickly. And I think the speed of change is happening faster than ever.
Totally.
I think there's still a push, and I think there will still be a push for a very long time for AI to give you the ability to have as little or as much control as a human wants, though.
Right.
And I think what we're seeing, particularly today, being a leader in AI tech for ecom brands, is brands generally start off like 25% AI and the rest human.
Yeah.
And then over time, like the first 6 weeks, they might get to like 50-50 human versus like AI doing it. After like 3 months, they're like, oh, well, AI is performing better and we're generating way more revenue.
Right.
It looks better. It is better. Our customers are resonating with it. Conversion rates skyrocketed. We're spending way more time on the things humans actually need to spend time on. We're learning way faster, and all of my doubts have been crushed.
Totally.
I'm not getting a huge influx of support requests being like, what is this copy? My Shopify is just converting way better. And to be honest, that's what matters most.
Right. Yeah. It's like you said, like we're now the ones holding things back. It used to be the other way around. Like you're waiting for something to come back, and then that is your cue to go finish whatever that one task was.
Yeah.
But now it's the opposite, where I'm like, wait, sleep is a waste of my time right now. I need to hurry.
Absolutely. I mean, I think there's two things holding people back. I think that founders, CEOs, the people generally at the top are pretty receptive to AI, and they're receptive most because they want to grow. They want to grow the business. They're seeing the numbers. They know they need to grow faster. They see AI as an opportunity to grow faster. I think it's the people, like bottom's a rough word, but the people that are executing today are like fearing their job.
Right.
And I think that's the wrong mindset because, and I use this analogy all the time in the sense that when Canva first launched, every digital agency hated Canva.
Totally.
Like Canva's stealing our job, Canva's stealing our work. We're a designer. This is our skill set. Now the best creative agencies in the world just use Canva. And I think that's going to be the same tide. The best marketers in the world are not going to be replaced. The best marketers in the world are going to be using the best AI tools to drive their business forward.
Yeah.
And the quicker they adopt it, the better. I think the second thing holding a lot of brands back today is agency relationships. I think agencies are going to remain really important. Professional services are going to remain really important. That's just a no-brainer. But I think there's going to be a real shift in, as an agency, you need to stop holding your client back. Sure, they might still spend $100,000 a year with you, but being an AI-first agency, man, you've got an edge because a lot of agencies are just like in the world of prior days.
Totally.
And so as a brand, it's really important that one, your executor people feel like they can experiment with AI without losing their job. And two, you're working with agencies that are actually pushing you forward as a business versus holding you back in the old days.
Totally. Yeah. I feel like there is going to be some kind of new level setting of, agency brand relationships for a category of brands. I think there's going to be still a large chunk of those that remain untouched because they go through procurement and they've got these massive teams on both sides.
Sure.
But I think a lot of the brands that are like sub 200 million have a huge shot of really kind of basically just eliminating baggage, extra baggage and speeding things up across the board.
Yeah, it's really about speed in many ways,
it really
right?
is speed, because like also speed is the variable to beat your competitors, especially if you're in a place where like you're not going to have the money to outcompete a big player. You're not going to have the legal resources or the distribution to outcompete, but you will have the speed.
But if you're, and if you're working with an agency that is rebuilding your flows from scratch every 3 months, on the email side of things, that's long gone.
Yeah.
But the best agencies are better than ever. Like I truly believe that. I mean, it'd be wrong to be like anti-agency or anti-human.
Totally.
But I think the world is really changing rapidly on that front. Like you need to be working with an agency that's really pushing you forward.
Totally. Yeah. I'm excited to see how like AI just continues to evolve from a creative standpoint too.
But from an execution standpoint, it's insane. And like like you said, executors who are great executors are finding that with AI, they're able to just do much more. Like good executors are good executors because they understand where the limits are and what's possible, even if they can't exactly do it themselves. But with AI, you can fill those gaps. Like everything you can't do yourself, you can fill it with AI. Like you said, the flows, like most brands don't touch their flows after they launch.
Now AI is, your website has never been more important. I mean, you talk to a brand today and it's like, oh, we haven't updated our product pages in a couple of years. Oh, AI's not picking our brand up properly. We're not showing up in search results. Well, your website is actually now the most important thing. You can kind of fuck up everything else, but if you get your website right, everything else starts to become easier. You're now showing up in search results. Your email platform is hopefully pulling whatever sale you've just launched your Mother's Day sale. It's now pulling all of that information, offers, the discounts, the products that are on sale, the messaging into your retention marketing automatically. There's no longer someone sitting up at 10 p.m. at night doing that.
Right.
It's now just happening. You're launching your new campaign and you're answering a series of questions versus sitting there with a blank canvas going, right, where do I start?
Totally.
New product launch, Mother's Day sale, this product, on sale for this, boom. What segment do I want to go to? Actually, AI probably just picks it for you.
Exactly.
And it's boom, 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 series of 3 emails over the next week.
Exactly.
Schedule, send, done.
Right.
That is now possible.
Totally.
And I think that's really exciting.
Yeah, fully agreed. I'm curious, so talking about AI, you guys are obviously building a ton of AI stuff. So when we talked the last few times, it was all about instant audiences, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like identifying anonymous shoppers, figuring out who those people are, being able to put them into Klaviyo and then message them when otherwise you could not reach those people. And that was maybe like 97% of shoppers on the internet. So, where has that product gone and where has that now led you to?
Yeah, I mean, building instant audiences was the thing that really got us going. I think it enabled us to build so much trust in the market. And what we did was and what we still do is enable brands to remember a shopper every time they land on your website. And you could argue that this is probably the most important thing for a marketer. If you don't know who a shopper is, as a marketer, you have no ability to send them an email or an SMS, no ability to retarget them on Meta. And you're basically just wasting shoppers that land on your website. And we built the best identification technology for an e-commerce brand and, amongst every test that we could possibly do. And brands it's so exciting when you jump on a call with a brand and they're like, whoa, we've spent no more money, but our Meta ad return has gone up because we're now sending emails and SMSs to people who land on our website. Our retention marketing has tripled, and we've basically had to do nothing. And that was huge. And we spend a lot of time with our customers I would say customer success is such an important thing for us. We take a lot of pride in offering a very good customer success experience to our customers, particularly really we work with a lot of large brands. And we were sitting down with a lot of our brands and they're like, we want our retention to go further. Like this is Meta ads are going up, everything's changed, budgets are tighter. How do we make more money from our existing customer base, particularly during sale periods? And we originally built like this email optimizer tool, which would scan all of your email flows and provide you a list, basically a summary of all the things you could do.
Like an audit?
Yeah, like an audit, right? Like an automated audit.
Mm-hmm. And you were basically, the idea there was like, hey, we have so many brands understanding, we can build a knowledge base and then scan your stuff against that and basically tell you where the optimizations lie.
Yeah, like where should you have a new CTA? Maybe it's not loading properly in a certain browser.
Right.
This link is wrong. These colors look bad.
Yeah.
When it's in dark mode, this isn't working. And so we would tell a brand how to improve. And we sat there as an instant leadership team a year and a half ago, and we said, hang on a minute, the world is changing so fast that why don't we just do this for them? Why don't we just help a brand build the very best retention marketing without having to lift a finger? We know who all their shoppers are. We're the best at identification, so we know how to send an email and an SMS. We've now built the ability to audit your emails so we know what emails convert the best.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't we just do it for you? And that's been kind of the rise of Instant AI. We launched Instant AI around 10 months ago. We have over 1,000 brands on Instant AI now, sending, so many emails and SMSs for brands every month. And seeing the wow factor when they jump on a demo, I think it's really easy to get a brand excited. I mean, we give the brand the ability to send a unique email to every shopper. No two shoppers receive the same email twice. Subject lines, copy, images, everything is different to every shopper. We learn about every shopper, so we know what it takes to convert you as an individual. And we do it with, as a brand, you give us your brand guidelines. We know your tone of voice. We're constantly looking at your website. You can have creative control if you want, but then you just leave Instant AI to grow revenue on complete autopilot. And I think that wow factor has been really exciting for brands.
Yeah, and honestly, the setup is pretty much just as easy as that. Like, I did the setup a couple times, and the hardest, or not the hardest, but the part that takes the longest is just getting your internal creative team to basically give the sign off that, hey, this is on brand and good to go.
Yeah.
And then once that happens, you're, like you said, you're pretty much done. Like, it does it on its own.
Well, yeah, I mean, it just does it on its own. Like, I obviously speak on stage a lot, and I share the story of Instant, but I'd say a unique part of our journey has been really the surprise of like not needing to push the hard sell. I think so many tools are, it's just like a ram down your throat consistently. Right. For us, like almost like 95% of our new brands come inbound. They hear about us from like on a podcast or at an event, or honestly, a lot of our customers just come from word of mouth. And so, I strongly believe a company is built on two things, like people and product. If you have the very best team and the very best product in the market, your customers come to you and they love you. And I'd say that's been the most exciting part of the journey so far, is just when a customer discovers Instant AI, they walk away in almost every case like, oh, well, this is pretty cool.
Yeah. And that too, especially with how fast you guys are shipping product or shipping updates and new features.
Yeah, we ship new features almost every week. I think we're really focused on bringing an edge to personalization. We see the fastest growing brands across all the brands we work with today. Generally, the fastest growing brands, about 30 to 40% of their revenue comes from retention marketing. And you have to note that like 40% of most brands' revenue come from Meta. Yeah. And so retention marketing in many ways is just as important as Meta. And everyone focuses on the new shopper. Absolutely, it's important. You need to keep the top of the funnel full. But there's such a huge base of revenue that is like almost free, right? Like
totally. Well, also not to mention that so much of acquisition is assisted by good flows. Like if you don't have good pop-up on the site, and if you don't have good flows, you're missing a lot of those users who are coming to the site, and maybe they're putting it in or not, but then they're leaving. Conversion rates, like 3 to 5%. So that means 95% are leaving without buying. Yeah. And if you can collect, 10 to 15% of emails on site, and then get the rest through Instant, for example, then you're basically, it's just free money. It's free money right there.
Absolutely. I would say there's three really big things that are top of mind for us at the moment. Number one is you need to send a unique email to every shopper when they abandon your website. That's never been possible before. It's not possible for a marketing manager to sit down and send 30,000 emails a day. Yeah. But now you can.
And when you say unique, you're basically name, subject line, email, clothes or whatever they looked at.
Yeah. I mean, it used to it's funny because personalization like 12 months ago was the first name. Everyone was like, oh, first name, that's personalization. I mean, that's just like the bare basic now.
We got something for you.
Hey, like insert Liam, comma. Oh shit, I forgot the comma.
There.
Yeah. Now it's like every email is different, and every email is written differently. The subject lines are different. Some subject lines have an emoji. Some subject lines include the first name. Subject lines don't even include that. Yeah. We reference the products that they view, but not just the product. We describe the product they used and why they might like to buy it. We take into account things like the time of day they're looking at your website, their location. Is it summer? Is it winter? What country are they in? Is shipping time fast? Because we don't want to put fast shipping in the email when they're in some other country. And so now all of a sudden you have the dream email to every shopper. Yeah. which had never been possible. So unique emails has been really exciting. The second thing that's been really exciting is the ability to, the timing of marketing has always been a big factor. And if you read any kind of playbook today, it'll say, send an email or an SMS 2 hours after someone abandons their cart. And I actually believe that's false. That's not the right strategy. You need to be learning about your shopper. When do they purchase? Because I might browse, as you know, I don't know, maybe let's use the example of like a really busy mum, for example. Their kid's gone to sleep, they're browsing the internet at midday or something at noon, and they're browsing around. Maybe they don't purchase. Their next available opportunity to purchase is probably at 9 p.m. at night when they're finally, their kids are finally gone to sleep for the day, and they're just relaxing. And I want to send them an email then, not 2 hours after they abandon their cart at 2 p.m. in the afternoon that they just never see.
Right.
And that's been a really exciting like uptick in revenue as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's so cool. There's been so many apps that have tried to do the personalization thing, but
too manual, too limited.
Yeah. And what's cool is like you took all the things like, you know, the audiences piece, you took, you know, there used to be a software that would only specialize in, oh, we know based on browser behavior when to serve the pop-up. Now, not only are you doing that, but then you're deciding, oh, we can take all these things, ingest them, match it with our database, and know when to send this email out again.
Yeah,
which is
instance AI agents.
It's just a better way of using all the tools that you have at your disposal.
Exactly, and like we have a very strong vision that as a brand, you should rely on Meta, you should rely on Shopify, and you should rely on Instant to grow your business. And as a marketing manager, I think a big skill set over the next 12 months will be managing instance agents to run your business. Pop-ups, emails, SMS, campaigns, identification, all in one platform. That's really important because they all need to speak to each other at lightning speed.
Right.
And that kind of goes on to my third point, which is like, it's also never been possible before for a marketer or a founder of a brand to experiment as fast as they can today. And it's one thing to plug all this data into Claude and for Claude to spit out something, that's fine. Like whatever, do that. But Instant is running your business from a retention point of view. We are helping you grow your revenue, and the volume of experiments. You know, different subject line, different copy. We're then telling you what's working. We're then incorporating those learnings into the new flows without you even needing to do anything. And you know, we're seeing like huge increases in click-through rates, then open rates, then conversion rates while you sleep.
Right.
That's really exciting.
Time for the retention tip of the week, brought to you by Instant. If you run an apparel brand, here's something most people get wrong. You treat returns like a cost center, but your returns flow is actually one of your highest leverage retention touch points. Think about it. A customer just returned something. That doesn't mean that they don't like your brand. It usually means the fit was off or the color wasn't right. So what do the best apparel brands do? They build a post-return email flow that does three things. 1, acknowledge the return with zero friction. 2, immediately recommend the right alternative based on what was returned and maybe the reason, maybe it's a different colorway, a different size, a different silhouette. And number 3, include a small incentive to come back within 10 days. Brands that nail their conversions flow for returns, they see 30 to 40% of their returners convert into repeat purchasers. The ones that don't, those customers are gone. Their return was their last interaction with you, and it was a bad one. If you need help building smart post-purchase and post-return flows, Instant makes it super easy. Their AI-powered retention engine generates personalized emails for every shopper automatically. Check them out at instant.one/Sharma.
So how does Instant layer in with legacy ESPs?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, we really help a brand to try Instant really, really quickly. So a lot of brands will get started with Instant's AI-generated flows. They'll go live. I mean, as you've seen, like most brands go live in like a day. They get started, they get experimenting, no pressure, see how it goes. And that's the beauty of the platform. And so they will, they'll start to see the results for themselves. And then over time, they will just use the product more and more and more. You are behind as a brand if AI isn't generating at least 30% of your revenue. And one of the easiest ways...
Just on the retention side?
I mean, let's just say as a business overall to start, right? Yeah. But retention is like one of the easiest right now if you really put your mind to it. Retention's really important.
Also for the most part untouched. Like no one makes solutions for the retention side of the business.
Yeah, it's and that's the wow factor that a lot of brands see, that when we demo them, they're like, okay, shit, like we have to give this a go. But we yeah, we're kind of the AI first solution for retention. We're helping marketers bring a new edge to their business, helping them stand out, and we're helping them grow their revenue. And there's so many tools on the market today that save you time and save you energy and make things easier. But really, we're in the world of business, right? Like we need to grow revenue and we need to grow it fast. We need to stand out fast. We need to convert shoppers better than ever. And that's what we're really obsessed with, is keeping your brand voice and keeping your brand tone and helping you stay completely on brand but convert way more shoppers faster is kind of our mission.
What are some of the brands that have really taken the AI platform to the next level on Instant?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many. I mean, you've got Third Love, Billabong, Neurogum. We've got Liquid IV. You've got David Protein.
Everybody.
I mean, we onboard like 100 new brands a month.
Yeah.
And the caliber of brands go from your smallest brands who want to see some revenue growth, all the way through to your largest brands with the largest marketing teams. And but the reaction is the same. Is, well, this is growing our revenue.
Right. And,
well, we're learning really, really fast. The best thing I really love is that the longer brands are with Instant, the more results they see. It's very rare for a platform to be able to have that value proposition.
Yeah.
The more we learn about your shoppers, the more we remember your shoppers, and the more we run experiments, the better the platform gets.
Yeah. That's interesting too, because one thing you're basically doing there without, the customer, or the customer in this case, the brand having to do it, is organize and synthesize all of that information and all of that data, and then constantly updating memory in real time as things are then going out, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, a little bit.
Yeah, we just know so much about your shoppers in a way that makes your brand feel really on brand. We know the types of products they've looked at, the time of day they're looking at your website. Are they what type of discount do they need? Are they a shopper that really loves free shipping? And maybe you don't need to give them a percentage discount, or maybe Nick only purchases if we give him 20% off. So let's just give it to him and get the conversion done. You just start to build a bit of a profile about this shopper as if they're shopping in person. You can kind of bring the human edge to AI. A lot of people think that AI is like robots, but really it helps you as a brand bring a bit more of an on-brand edge, a bit more 100%. Of a human touch.
Totally.
And I think shoppers are way more interested when they see an email or an SMS that is actually about the item that they just viewed or the item that they're interested in, versus just a random catalog email. Hey, Liam, saw your ban in your cart, come back to purchase. They click on it and it lands on the homepage of the website. I mean, no, like, of course you're losing conversions. I mean, it's just, one, it's manual.
Yeah.
So you just don't have the time to set it up. And two, it's just so unoptimized.
Yeah. I think too, just like, Amazon changed everybody's brain to realize that they should get 2-day shipping always from everybody all the time, no matter what, for free. That is going to happen in the retention world shortly. Like as AI gets more and more involved, and companies like a Neurogum or David are sending these personalized emails, it's going to be expected from other brands that consumers see that. Otherwise, they're going to think, wait, I have to do 2 clicks to get there? I'm out.
Yeah.
And that's a very real thing.
It's funny. One of our largest brands is we have, Naturium, who's part of Elf Beauty. They're obviously huge, but one of our other big brands is Zero Shoes, and Zero Shoes, a very fast growing brand, signed up self-service on our website. And I was on a call with an investor in Instant the other day, and I was explaining our Instant AI to him. He's like, no, I've seen something like, he's like, what other competitors are there in the market? I'm like, well, like, of course there's a few, but like, this is what we're doing that's better. And he's like, no, I've seen something like this before. I got an email in my inbox with, like, I didn't know how they knew exactly what products I was purchasing. Oh, and I just purchased it. Like, there has to be. I'm like, we'll pull up the screen share and show me the brand. Ended up being Zero Shoes. I'm like, well, that's our customer.
Oh,
he's like,
And so what was different in that email than that he would have, or I guess if you just look at that email objectively, like what do you think is different from that email versus like the average follow-up abandoned flow that somebody has?
Yeah, well, we showed the exact items that he was interested in, but we didn't just show the items he was interested in. The copy of the email referenced all the items that he was specifically viewing. It was including
Prior
things.
items.
Yeah, it was including things like the type of shoe, maybe what it's for.
Yeah.
You know, the discount that's on offer, the shipping, how fast the shipping was. You know, it referenced things that actually are considerations when you're making a purchase. Then in the subject line, the name of the item that he was viewing and his first name and how much discount that particular item had was referenced in the subject line.
Yeah.
That's not been possible before.
Right.
And we're automatically pulling that information from your website. So, you know, we're
Almost feels
determining
like the difference being like we're in this building on the 15th floor. The difference is option one is you scream down to somebody on the ground floor and you say, "Hey, you forgot this."
Yeah.
Right? Do you still want to buy it? And then the other option is you go down there and you're like, "Hey, by the way, you were just upstairs. This just came back in stock. It was really good for running. You were just talking about running. Do you want to buy it real quick on your way out?" Right? That's kind of the difference.
Yeah.
Like a very curated message experience compared to almost what feels like maybe more of a broadcast.
Exactly, 100%. And that drives conversion significantly. I think it's only possible, though, because of the behind the scenes experimentation that is constantly occurring. You know, we are constantly running hundreds of experiments a day. What subject line is best to open?
Right.
What subject line gets the best click through? What subject line gets the best conversion? What copy is getting the best conversion? Do we need long copy? Some brands are really educational. They want long copy. Some brands are like, you know, quick purchases, like they want short copy. Some brands are really discount heavy. Maybe let's experiment not running a discount and seeing if it impacts anything.
Yeah.
Some brands have different collections have different discounts. That's so complicated to build out all those flows. But now we're stripping the information. We're looking at the information from the specific page that shopper viewed on your website. We're looking at that specific product's discount and we're taking that into account. And so when you launch your Mother's Day sale or your Black Friday sale, it's all just taken into account.
Right.
The branding, the discounts, the messaging.
Yeah, that's amazing. And is that done through Instant Labs or Instant Labs is completely separate?
Instant Labs is part of Instant AI. So Instant Labs, I guess, is the interface where two things. Like Instant Labs is the interface where we show a brand the experiments that we're running and show them the results that we've found.
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess part two of Instant Labs is all the behind the scenes. So all the analysis of data, all the experiments that are ongoing, all of the variants that we're creating, and then plugging that into your email and SMS marketing for you.
Amazing. And what other sources are you plugging into that allow you to have basically all the context?
Yeah, I mean, we learn over time. So majority of the time we can learn a lot from just plugging into your Shopify, for example. And from Shopify, we can see, you know, things like opt-in and make sure all the privacy regulations are met. But more importantly, we can look at things like order history, the type of shopper this is. Are they a repeat shopper? Is this their first time? Right. And so we can get a lot, and we do get a lot from Shopify. And then there's just a lot that we analyze and we build ourselves.
Totally. Is there any particular, I guess, what feature do you currently have that you're most excited by, or you feel is, you know, has the most potential? And is there any that are on the horizon that you're really excited about?
Yeah, I'm really excited about. I think we've done a lot to really build. I think today Instant probably has the best retention flows experience for an e-commerce brand. I think that's pretty real. You know, we've had historic gaps in things like reporting or you know, things like that we've slowly built over time. And today I would say the results and the customer satisfaction.
Actually, shout out to you. I remember I texted you about attribution and you said you're going to have it in like a couple weeks, and it was live in a couple weeks.
Yeah, we listen to our customers a lot, and as a startup, we've always had customers coming in the door so quickly. And sometimes like, oh, it's a couple of weeks away. Just give us a bit of time.
Yeah.
Instant AI flows today are like world class. I mean, It is never been possible before what we do. It is so on brand. It is so personalized, and most importantly, it just drives really good revenue results for a customer. What I'm really excited about is the work that we're doing with campaigns. We see a really strong vision with agentic campaigns. So a marketer is able to create a campaign in seconds rather than hours. We're able to send a unique personalized email or campaign email to every shopper or cohorts of shoppers. We're able to run experiments across hundreds of thousands of campaign emails and summarize the results for you. So you can either, one, bring those into your next campaign, or two, we can just bring those learnings into your next campaign for you. And so that's what I'm really excited about. I think flows is really important. I think SMS is really important. I think attribution is really important. And I think campaigns are really important. And we have a really strong edge across all four of those kind of channels now, which is like a no-brainer of why so many brands start to use the products.
Yeah.
So many people trying, just like in loyalty or other verticals, like
Right.
so many people try and compete commercially to race to the bottom, cheaper, not necessarily a better product, but
they try to do the whole land and expand thing.
yeah,
Right?
exactly.
I think you're more just like, all right, this person at the brand, like what other tools do they need to do more?
Yeah, drive more revenue, and
Yeah.
we really focused on having the best possible product in the market that has never been possible before without AI. So many brands are obsessed with bringing AI into their business, and now's never been a better time.
Yeah. Outside of Instant, what are you excited about with AI?
I'm really excited for marketers to have the ability to become really important. And marketing managers and marketing teams have been important for forever for a brand. And marketing is the heartbeat of a brand's business. And I don't think that will change. I think that there's a strong, there's a lot of messaging around who will lose their job because of AI. And I actually think that what I'm most excited about is giving marketers the ability to double or triple their performance, double or triple the revenue that they're driving for a brand. And I think a lot of marketers scratch their head sometimes in all right, I'm working really hard. We're launching new collaborations or new campaigns, and we're just reaching our revenue targets. Or, maybe the meta algorithm has changed, out of my control. Now there is so much in a marketer's control. There is things that you would rely on weeks from data analysts to look at. You can get that at your fingertips now.
Right.
Like, how exciting. Things like creative. That's really exciting for me. 6 months ago, everyone hated creative. Now most brands use it. Next will be video. And so I think that giving marketers the ability to be supercharged marketers is something I'm really excited for most.
Yeah, I'm stoked about that. I also think, AI at first was not complicated to use, but I think a lot of people were intimidated by it. And I think as it's evolving, it's becoming easier to onboard and get up to speed at the same time. So I'm really excited to just see more people just get onboarded and kind of embrace the technology. And another thought I had while you were talking before was, for example, if you were to onboard with Instant and add and plug everything in, the cool part is the next time there's a new model that you guys plug in on your back end, everything gets upgraded across the board. And I feel like the more people just need to get on it faster, earlier. Sooner.
Yeah. I think that there's a lot of businesses and a lot of people still thinking about AI as a hypothetical. It's
Right.
it's coming. Our tools that we use today will be AI soon,
Right.
or we're using bolt-on features. And I think that's going to be a big shift I'm not so bullish on older companies becoming AI-driven solutions for your business overnight. They have huge teams, so many legacy things going on that I think a lot of these smaller businesses are really going to overtake either the legacy brands or the legacy solutions in the market. You must be using tools that are in today's world, not tools from 10 years ago that have just basically bought your trust.
Totally.
And you kind of have to have an internal reset of, we're not going to go after every bright, shiny thing to, have some scale our business, triple our business overnight, but we are going to start using AI tools to at least double our revenue overnight.
Totally. Amazing. Well, Liam, anything you want to leave with here?
No, I think that there's never been a more exciting time to be building in my opinion. There hasn't been a change this big, this large since basically the start of the internet.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are forgetting the exciting time that we're living in, and embrace it. Like, don't fear it. Don't fear the little details. Just overcome it. And what I'm seeing is, like, when a brand starts, as I said, like using 25% of the product in the first couple of months, by month 6, they're just like AI is better.
Right.
It's not that the human's been removed. It's that the human is now more powerful.
Yeah.
And as a brand leader, as a marketer, really embrace the tools that are driving revenue, not the tools that are safe.
Mhm.
Because if you truly want to grow, you need to be using tools that are growing your revenue like never before.
Totally. Amazing. Well, thank you for coming on.
Well, thanks for having me on. Third time lucky. I mean,
fourth time, we'll do it again.
Yes, 4th time. And I don't know what we'll talk about next time, but it'll be so much. I mean, the world's just changing so fast.
Yeah, truly.
Thanks for listening. We'll be back next time to cut through the noise on CPG, retail, and e-commerce. If you enjoyed this episode, why not share it with a friend? And be sure to subscribe wherever you listen so you don't miss the next one.